Hello friends, hope you're well. TechManPat here. Today we're looking at the Radeon RX 5600 XT. So let's have a look at a quick summary of what this card is. Then I'm going to talk about my experience with it, and I'm going to see if I can recommend it to you guys and what kind of gameplay you should expect when using this very awesome graphics card. And I'm actually really impressed with it. So let's get into it. Now this card delivered smooth gameplay at up to 1440p on my ultra wide monitor, and certainly at 1080p it was brilliant, and it is a very solid alternative to the RX 2060 Super. In fact, it is also much cheaper, and we'll look at the prices in a moment, and I'm of course only going to be telling you Australian prices. Now the Radeon RX 5600 XT is positioned, and this is according to AMD, to be the ultimate 1080 performing card. The company does expect the card to easily run at 1080p resolutions with just ultra settings, and hopefully for the couple of years to come it will still be performing well. I can confirm that using even my old CPUs and a DDR3 motherboard and a DDR4 and my Core i7-7700K, I got very good performance. In fact, Battlefield 5 ran at 80 frames a second at 1440p. It is the exact same settings I used to play on my 1080 Ti, and just to confirm, they were performing very similarly, and this card felt a lot more stable. Now in most of my testing, the 5600 XT performed really well, and it hit 60 frames across the 1080p resolution all the time. Now comparing it to the GTX 1660 Ti, it was better. It is much better than that card, and it kind of performed a lot better than the RTX 2060 in most scenarios. Now most of this information I found on the internet, and I was able to then confirm it with my own tests. So what is this card? The RX 5600 XT uses the Navi 10 GPU found in the RX 5700 and the RX 5700 XT. The XT is actually like a refresh brand similar to the Super version Nvidia did. The die is manufactured by TCMC. It's a 7nm one, it's a FitFET process, and it fits 10.3 billion transistors onto a 251 square millimeter space. Now underneath, the Navi 10 GPU features 36 compute units for a total of 2,304 stream process. Now each RDN CU sports 4 texture units for a total of 144 TMUs along with 64 ROPs.
The Radeon RX 5600 XT is a revised specification of the standard one. This means that the memory bandwidth is actually at 336 instead of 288. The memory clock is first clocked at 1750 MHz instead of 1500 for the reference, and the memory data rate per pin is actually 14 gigabits per second instead of 12 gigabits per second. That means overall you're getting an increase of 10 to 15% in each game's frame rates from the reference design of this card. Look out for the OC tagging on your card when you're purchasing this. The problem here is that this card is mainly competing with the 2060. However, the 2060 RTX lineup has come out with the RTX 2060 Super. This card performs very well against the 2060 Super. However, it is a 10 to 15 to 20% difference sometimes.
Now this is the OC version from ASRock. It's a beautiful looking card, one of the better manufacturers I've seen make cards, very sturdy, and as you can see across the video now, it looks great and it has great cooling performance. This can actually turn off the fans while not in use, and then when it does warm up, the fans will turn on, and they're actually very quiet. Now all 5600 XTs will come with 6 gigs of GDDR6 memory. It's not HBM2, but that's okay because this is your budget king for 1080p gaming. We'll get to that in a bit. Now on power consumption, the 5600 XT is listed at 150 watts. This is comparable to the 180 watts, the RX 5700, and 130 watts for the RX 5500 XT. Now on the Nvidia side, the GTX 6600 Ti is listed at 120 watts, and the RTX 2060 Super is at 160 watts. The 5600 XT fits right in between the 6600 Ti and the 2060 Super, but much closer to the 2060 Super. Now on the box it says 450 watts or greater. At 550 watts you'll be able to run this and overclock it, so I suggest a little bit higher than the manufacturing spec. But also remember, a high quality PSU is much better at keeping your power consumption low because it also is more efficient. Maybe we should do a video about efficient PSUs. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see something like that. Now, of course, this card also supports FreeSync 2, which is great, and HDR, so that's a great sign. This is going to the person who's got a 1080p monitor with high refresh rate and wants to play games at around a medium to mid-high level settings to get highest frame rates available. This is your 1080p King. It is actually priced at $492 from PLE on pre-order next month. The RTX 2060 Super right now is $699, so at $500, this card fits really well in the budget build. My suggestion is pairing this with an AMD-based Ryzen CPU, probably one of the new ones that are coming out now. They're actually a refresh with higher base clocks, which will provide you better gaming performance. I find it really amazing that this card performs so well, and in my tests, obviously, it's a little bit different because I'm not able to get the highest CPUs, the most expensive CPUs, but to me, that is actually a more realistic view of somebody who might be upgrading a very old card to the next version of the budget build, and they'll be running at CPUs that are a little bit older, and there's no reason to move off these CPUs, especially if you're on a DDR4 machine right now built 2-3 years ago. You don't really need to upgrade that motherboard and CPU just yet. You can wait till the next revision of DDR5 in a couple of years. In fact, with an upgrade of just the graphics card, you're going to do really well. That CPU isn't going to bottleneck as much as you think, and if you want to upgrade from an Intel-based system or an AMD-based system, if you're still running those that are old, going to the AMD side is actually a good idea right now. In fact, that's what I'll be doing. So coming up in a few months, I'll be doing a build of an AMD-based system, just the CPU and motherboard. For now, we'll be looking at hopefully the 3000 series from NVIDIA to really give you guys a look at what top-end graphics card look like. Now, I will also be doing a budget build video to describe all that stuff that we talked about today in detail. So on summary, this ASRock Radeon RX 5600 XT is positioned to be your 1080p King, the best performing card in that price range. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you make a decision about your next card budget build. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see those videos that I described. I'm really keen to get your thoughts on it and maybe some suggestions of what you'd like to see me actually discuss when I do that video. Again, thank you very much to AMD and ASRock for sending this card across. I really enjoyed my time with it. I actually ended up playing a few games rather than testing, and I haven't played a lot of video games in the last couple of months, and I really enjoyed playing on it. I was just blown away. Everything was performing really well. I didn't have to change too many settings. I really enjoyed it, and I played all the latest games too. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you all in another video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye!